Okay, in the previous step, we learned what are the attributes in Unity and how we can use them in our C# code. In this step, we want to talk about events. However, in the past, we have talked about delegates and multicast delegates. These kinds of events are, um, um, a use case of the uh, delegates as well, but in a different code, not in the class itself. For example, we have a button here, right, and a cube. My idea is when we click on this button, this cube, the color of this cube has to be green. Okay, so as far as at the beginning of the project, as far as I know what I wanna do, for example, change the color of cube, so I will define this function of this cube and attach to the button's functionality. But if after, for example, after we publish this game, I wanna add a sphere. Should I change the whole functionality of button or should I change the functionality of cube? No. We need to add a structure to be able to call any function we want whenever we hit this button, you know? So we will say this cube, this sphere, or any other objects or functionalities in the scene will be the listener to the buttons, functions, all are. Okay? So let's come back to the Visual Studio, and here we have our the main function, which we can call it, event manager. But now we have part 30 and 38. Okay, let's remind that part of public delegate void. I call it click action. Okay, and now for definition of event, public static event, and the type of this variable is click action. So let's define a variable name, for example, unclick it. That's it. Okay, so whenever we want to hit that button, click button click. Okay, what we're gonna do, unclick it, launch the unclick it. Okay, as far as we mentioned in the definition of delegate is call all functions which have been added to the unclicked variable in this function. Okay, so the next action is, let's come back to the Unity editor. Come on. We should wait. This time compiler is crazy, it seems. After we okay, now let's add the part in 38 script to the button. Okay, and now unclick, drag and drop part 38. Here, let's add button click. Now, let's come back to the Visual Studio, and in part 38, 1, we will say in a void enable, unenable, okay? Let's do something cool. Part 38 dot unclicked was our function. What was our function? Let's add a void change color. Okay, let's add change color function to the variable of unclicked, and when we disable the scene excuse me, undisable, let's remove that function from the variable. That's it. The event is done. With this part, we already subscribed a change color function to the variable of unclicked. And after every time we call unclicked by any action, by any alarm or anything, we will call this function as well. Okay? What was the responsibility? Get component renderer. I want to change the color of object. Dot material dot color equal color dot green. Green. That's it. It is easy to use. And for example, okay, let's disable the sphere for now. We will add 381 to this guy. And now, look at this. We didn't add the 38 component from button. We didn't call it. Here, look at this. It worked. I just pressed this button, but all the functions, all the objects, all the logics of and the whole project will understand that, okay, something happened in unclicked action event. Actually, let's do something else. I will say okay, part 382 for that sphere. Let's remove this part. I will say unenable. Okay, part 38 dot unclicked plus equal. Now I will make another function, void change scale. Transform dot local scale equal new vector 3 3 5 1. Okay, and I will subscribe this function inside that unclicked event. Undisable the same, but let's unsubscribe. That's it. Let's come back to the Visual Studio. We have defined two different components for two different objects. Look at this. And the scale is 1 1 1. Okay, and now I want to press hit that button. Look at this. The sphere scale is 3 5 1, and the color of cube is green. It is exactly what we have defined, but without fitting the manually the function, just by subscribing the function inside unclicked. That's it. In fact, the event, or other name of it, action, these features are really helpful whenever you want to make a base for your game or your project, but you are not sure it's gonna be close. You think maybe the future you want to expand that functionality. Okay, so with using event, you will be able to expand your functionality or your call or your action without any problem and any hitting and beating your base and core of your project. All right, let's go to the next step.